Hi you guys, really sorry that the audio didn't record on none of the videos, but a little update. These are the quail now. These are 3 weeks old. They're all healthy, all looking good. They're starting to fly. So the idea was to start raising these quail to take the eggs and raise some more and start food production. I've totally given up with society, really. If I could live a nomad life, I really would. And we move on to the gardens. All the quail were doing good. Anyway, this is where I started with the garden, this small little patch I dug up and started growing a few things. And decided, can we feed ourselves? Now, I've got 4 children and a girlfriend, and you know, it's expensive. It's really expensive. So here we go. We've got a bunch of peas going up this trellis. Looks pretty much okay. We've got some carrots in that bucket, and then I kind of went all out on the gardening. I made a little raised bed with a load of cabbage and cauliflower, which are all doing very well. They're more or less ready for harvest, which I will be eating in the next couple of days. I just harvested a bunch of things out of here. Then decided to throw about £600 into the garden. So we've started wood chipping, a few different types of raised bed, which we're slowly filling in. And it's so easy to garden, anyone can do this. I mean, I've never done no gardening since, well, before I started this, 2.5 months ago, I think. So I've got the trellises with beans going up them. This is a bit of a random garden. I've left a couple of things to bolt, including the pak choy, which you can see with the lovely yellow flowers. We had a little bit of a cold snap and that all decided to bolt. There's a few different types of lettuce down here, with a few brassicas. At the end there's a bunch of courgette and pumpkin. I've just put in these bright lights chard, a couple of pepper plants in the background there, and a few more trestles, some beans in the tyres. I have put in between the tyres cardboard to sort of stop any nasties going onto the roots. So they're the rainbow. Then there's a couple of chilies plonked in there. We've got a little onion set in there, climbing tomato plant, and a pea the other side. We've got some artichokes in here, some spring onion which are yet to come up, some more chard and curly cow. I did do some purple sprouting broccoli, but it's all being eaten by the pigeons, so I have to net that at the moment. Sun comes from over there, so I get quite decent sun on the garden all day. The shadier area was where the flowers were bolting. And then we've got Bubbles. He's actually my gardener. He eats all of the slugs and snails for me. Then I'm just about to put a few things in here. Got courgette on the corner. Just making some lines. I'll go on to the lines. Now you can make these really, really neat with a simple trick that you'll see in a minute. You basically use a piece of bamboo and you make a groove and you go along the lines. If I'm saying it right, I believe that at the top there is kohlrabi, which is a root vegetable. They've got a couple of sunflowers and beans in the other tyres. And I'm literally just done this one. This one's got a lot of climbing peas and beans on the back. I've just planted a few sets there. Some carrots, some radish and some coriander, which I will leave the coriander to go into flour as well to attract some bees. We're going to put some French marigolds. They're kohlrabi, and then Brussels sprouts. And I can probably fit another section just along here. Got a couple of tomato plants, basket plants that are just starting to come through now, getting a little bit more foliage. And then we've got the polytunnel and the greenhouse. The polytunnel is where I string my tomatoes, like money makers, and what the others, beefsteak is another good one. I believe I've got both of them in there now. This is the seed house. This is where I start off all the seeds. So all the new stuff, I'll rotate the crops. As stuff comes out, I'll start putting new things in. So purple sprouting broccoli, this lot's not going to get eaten. Sweet corn, lamb's lettuce. Oh, we've got over a bunch of courgettes, pumpkins, aubergine. Got some more chard coming through. You can't have enough chard. So actually really productive. These are some potatoes going on to some radishes. And the tomatoes are vining upwards. And this is a technique with that bamboo. It is absolutely great. If you get too many in your row, you can thin them out after. With carrots, don't try and replant them. It won't work properly. And more potatoes either side of the tomatoes. And a little bit of miscellaneous. We've got some more chards on this side with some chili plants. In my eyes, it looks pretty neat and you can't go wrong with it really. And just outside what I planted today, we've got a few things: French marigolds, purple sprouting broccoli, scarlet cow. What we've got, Savoy cabbage and some lettuce. And my daughter decided to plant a bunch of flowers. I would not know the names. I think that's catnip. Not sure. That's treasure flower. I believe, I'm not sure what that is. I know that's edible, the flower. Maybe you'll know. Leave it in the comments if you do know what flowers they are. So they're all going to the greenhouse later. We've also got a little herb garden with a couple of chilies in and some mange tout peas. Just need to fatten up a little bit. I will save some of the pods and let them go to save for the seeds. Sorry for all the noise in the background, but I'm sitting with a quail at the minute. And then once again, the audio was terrible on this, but I'm just explaining that I literally come out of my house and there's an allotment next to me, and I was lucky enough 2 months ago to get a place over here, and this is really what started the gardening journey, the allotment. You'll see it's very well kept, the allotment, very neat. And it was grown over literally everywhere. It was like knee high to waist high, and it was back breaking. My back is still hurting now from it. I didn't have a rotavator. I had to dig everything myself. Just admiring their Persian carpet. Everything's pretty much kept really, really neat over here. Loads of rhubarb all over the place. And this is my plot. So there's a bunch of onions that you'll see first of all that were already there that I've just cleared, and I've put up a trellis. And we've got a lot of beans coming through on this side. I've still got to put some netting up, as you can see. but they are starting to come through. So a lot of weeds coming through because I didn't rotivate. So at the end of this year, I'm aiming to put quite a bit of manure on there. So onto the plants, there's some chard, some lettuce, goes onto the sweet corn, and all of the peas are just coming through and starting to touch the bottom of the netting. I heard a thing, knee high by the 4th of July for your sweet corn. That's doing well. A random asparagus just appeared from nowhere, so I've left it. I will try and take the crown at the end of the year. And another piece, and this piece is actually starting to flower next to the sweet corn. And something's actually, it's probably the pigeons that have ate the purple sprouting broccoli, knocking down the sweet corn as they fly away, or a badger or a fox, of course. Here's a purple sprouting broccoli been eaten. That's a pigeon done that, but I've still got quite a bit, so I'll cover that today. This video was only taken yesterday. An amazing cabbage. Look at that. Cauliflower, just starting to get small heads inside. Another cabbage, cauliflower, and a few more cabbages and kale just over there. Now, I've never done this before, so I'm kind of looking at the guy next to me who is meticulous on how he does his garden, which I will show you now. The butterhead lettuce, absolutely delicious. We had that in a salad yesterday. Still got 5 more of them to go, and then I'll replant some. Now these are his onion sets. Behind his strawberries, garlic, spring onion, moving down to lettuces, more garlic, onto peas. Not sure. He has so much. He has enough potatoes for a small army. The bloke's only about 85 years old, and he does this literally all day. Whenever I'm over there, he's there with his trusty dog. And we did think we was getting another piece of land. It turned out, I'm really upset about it, to be honest. They have bought the land, they've been over there and they've weeded probably 2 square metres, kind of giving up with it, when we could have made such good use of this land. It's got so much potential just here. But over a month, they have literally done 1 or 2 square metres of weeding. So we was trying to get the piece of land. Hopefully we still can when they find out it's not so easy to do this. Anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this. It's going to be a hard journey, but it's going to be well worth it. Thank you very much.